Oh, it's so hot.
AJ Lee was moving a little bit.
Take my clothes off.
Ow!
And this is A&B Convo's Wrestling Edition.
Welcome everyone to the most must-see wrestling review show on YouTube. Welcome to A&B Convo's Wrestling Edition. All right, this is it. We are just one day away from the special Mother's Day edition of Money in the Bank. I gotta tell you, for me, for my money, this week WWE has been, I think, relatively uneventful. I mean, it's been decent, but I've been thinking about this for a while, and I wanted to mention this. Let me know what you think. You know, you can agree or disagree, but I realize that with professional wrestling, it is about the show. It's showmanship. It's not just about the physicality of it, which obviously is a big component of it, but you have these larger-than-life characters, you've got the pyro. There are a lot of things that go into making a professional wrestling show what it is, and that, I feel, is what's been missing, especially in Raw, NXT, and SmackDown Live, that they've been in the Performance Center or Full Sail University, and it's been very, very quiet. They've changed some things, they've made it a little better. They've got the camera more of a hard angle, so you're not really seeing the empty arena. But when you look at AEW, I've said it before, I'll say it again, they've got this figured out. You have wrestlers out on the sides, you have, and this past week they were in an open arena, you have people up in the seats. They were wearing masks. I'm assuming these were maybe employees or family members. Who can say? There was a Falls Count Anywhere match with Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy, that you have people in the back there, just like you would see in any Falls Count Anywhere where they go out into the stands or the concession stands, and it really almost felt like a completely normal show. Right. And I'm missing that with the WWE. And again, I understand it is what it is, but I realize I just have not been able to put my finger on it over these past several weeks, and I think that's what it is for me.
I'm sure that's what it is across the board, and I mean, they've totally improved from the first week. That was a disaster. But what I would say is that ever since WrestleMania, I feel like every week that I do see them kind of stepping it up, more backstage and stuff, you know, interaction-wise, and like you said with the camera shot, you know, being more closely zoomed in. So I feel like because WrestleMania, it was so successful with fighting different places, that's why with this Money in the Bank being like the, you know, climbing the corporate ladder all the way to the roof, that's exciting, it's different, and it's new. And so I think that they get it, but I think that it almost feels like AEW treats every week like with the same respect that they treat their pay-per-views. And I feel like right now WWE is really more focused on the main events.
I'm not quite sure what to expect from this upcoming Money in the Bank. I will say one of the things that has been most interesting for me to see from this whole health crisis situation is these Zoom meetings, and most everybody, newscasters, are shooting from the comfort of their own home. So we're seeing the inside of their home, and we would never have seen this ordinarily, ever. And I really don't think we would have ever seen the inside of WWE headquarters at all. So I have no idea what to expect. I'm really interested to see what the headquarters looks like. And climbing to the top of the building to get to the ladder, to get to the... you've got my curiosity.
Yeah, it makes me anxious because when they showed the shot of what it's supposed to look like from the air looking down on the top with the ring, I'm like, that's... So yeah, it's going to be different.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about what our predictions are for Money in the Bank. Let's start at the very top. We have the Money in the Bank match. Right now we're talking about Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, King Corbin, I can't. Rey Mysterio, Otis, and AJ Styles. I'm going to tell you, right now, you heard it here first, Otis, all the way, you're taking it. Oh yeah!
I don't know. I know you like Otis, and everyone likes Otis. I don't know how exciting it would be for him to have the money in the bank, I almost feel like he doesn't even understand what the money in the bank is. He just reminds me so much of George Animal's character, basically.
But everybody loved George Animal's too.
Okay, I'll tell you who my money is on, okay? AJ Styles. And let me tell you why. Because he was not happy that you let his crew go at all. And they may be a little worried. I don't know when his contract is up, but maybe they're like, we just fired his crew. Maybe we should give him the money in the bank to make it up to him.
Hey, his career is getting buried just like the Undertaker did him in the Boneyard match. That's how I feel about that. Let's talk about the women, the women's Money in the Bank match. We've got Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, and of course Lacey Evans and Carmella. Who do you like?
I mean, off the bat, Carmella's out because the only reason she's even there is because Mandy was distracted and there was interference. And anytime you only won because there was interference, to me, they're saying you weren't even really good enough to be there. So you're almost just like a slot holder. And the reason I think it's going to be Shayna Baszler is because she may not have been overly well received. And maybe it was just us. You know, I think there's a lot of people who do like her. I love her character. I was excited when I first saw her, but she just hasn't been as tough as we would hope. But they brought her up for a reason. So I feel like they're probably gonna give it to her.
I disagree. I disagree, homeboy. Let me tell you why. Shayna Baszler, I feel like, is getting a push similar to what Roman Reigns did, and you saw how that turned out. And Roman Reigns is a much better in-ring performer than Shayna Baszler. Being an MMA background person, I expected to see a lot more. I expected to see what I'm now seeing with Sonya Deville. Although her match with Mandy Rose on SmackDown Live this past Friday was lackluster at best, but I like that she's finally getting that aggression that I know that she has. I'm really sad that she's not in this. But for me, for my money, Asuka all the way. These ladies are not ready for Asuka.
The only thing is, too, that we do have Nia Jax in the match, and they are going to absolutely have to gang up on her like they do the Big Show to get rid of her. But because she has no friends, that will easily happen. You know what I mean?
She's not just, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to happen for this one at all. All right, so let's talk about the individual matches we have with the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre going against the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Drew all the way? Uh-oh.
Okay, so, I mean, Rollins was champ for a long time, and he was really good at it, and they built him all the way up to this Monday Night Messiah with this whole crew, and I feel like they did that for a purpose, and I feel like, you know, I don't know, I don't want him to win. I want Drew to win, and I feel like Drew should win. They just made him champion, because it is Seth Rollins, and he has that history with them and being their guy and stuff. And then remember, Triple H was like, if you come over with me, we'll do this again over at, you know, NXT. So I feel like, not that he went to NXT, but I don't know. It's hard, but I'm gonna say I agree with you, but I'm not like 100%.
And I don't know what's going to happen with Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Is it going to be The Fiend? Is it going to be Bray Wyatt? We're going to see another very odd Firefly Funhouse match. I don't know what to make of this.
Here's the thing. This is a really, really, really hard place. They finally have Braun as champion, but it was not on purpose and it wasn't planned, and we know that. It was default. Okay? So, were they just putting on him temporarily so they could give it back to The Fiend because they shouldn't have ever taken it from The Fiend in the first place? And now if The Fiend loses, he's going to be like, okay, well, he's not this mythical, scary, blah, 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 blah. But on the other hand, you just gave it to Braun. The universe is thrilled that Braun has it. Do we want to see Braun lose it?
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to be disqualification. I think that it's going to be a situation where Bray does something to make him disqualified, and at that point,
it's possible.
He'll retain that way.
I hope not. I hope not. I want to see Bray get these hands, and let's call it a day.
But then, what's the point in doing the Fiend? Doesn't make sense.
I'll tell you what doesn't make sense. You've got a long-standing superstar in Tamina going against Bayley for the WWE Women's SmackDown Championship. Bayley's probably going to win. I don't know why they do this gigantic push for her. She's a terrible in-ring performer. She's not a hugger anymore. So honestly, I think the best thing about her right now is her new entrance music. But this is a long time coming for Tamina. Just like with Natalya, just give her the strap.
Here's the thing. The thing is that I love Tamina. I really wish Tamina would have gotten somewhere by now. The thing is that she doesn't have a character. She's just Tamina. And she is known as an enforcer and a strong person to stand behind somebody. But they haven't figured out how to give her a character. She just wears all black. She just does her hair, comes out, wears all black, and there's no, it's like she came in with the Usos. And all three of them were doing the island thing, right, with their ancestry. But when they split them up, she didn't keep any, like they went with them, like they went from, you know, having the dance and doing the makeup and then having the, you know, the gangster thing and all that kind of stuff. She has nothing like that. So why have they done her like that, where they didn't give her any kind of character that you would even buy merch for?
That's a good question, and especially being a Legend's daughter and Jimmy Superfly Snuka, I would have thought she would have had a much bigger push than she has. But I think her time is now, just like I mentioned before in a different Wrestling Edition episode with Jazz. Jazz was all about meanness, all about toughness. I'm just a hard hitter. She was a former women's champion. Make that with Tamina. She's supposed to be this big, bad, tough, like you said, enforcer person. She may not have a character like Bayley, but I think she can pull it off. So I'm hoping she takes it.
I don't know. That's what Shayna is now.
Oh.
But she's the same thing. She just wears all black and whatever, you know what I mean? But she's a badass.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
She's supposed to be. She's supposed to be a badass.
And she's not. That's my whole point. She gets in the ring and her wrestling is a joke. It's a joke. If you put her in the ring against Jazz, Jazz will wipe them out all day.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's talk about who and who with the New Day versus the Forgotten Sons and Miz and Morrison, along with the Lucha House Party. What do you like?
I think that they're gonna give it to the Forgotten Sons. I think that they're gonna push him. I think that they are really actually trying to prove a point, you know, to promote this team that they. I almost feel like it was. This reminds me of a breakup song, where like you're easily replaceable. Like Beyonce's like, go to the left. I'll have another one of you in a minute. So I feel like WWE was like, Revival, you don't want our stuff, you don't want our gimmick, you want to go on and go, we'll replace you in a minute. Have another one of you in a minute. No, that's not how it is.
You could be right with Forgotten Sons. I definitely see the push. I don't think they're ready just yet. I love having the New Day be champions.
Yes.
I love the New Day.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the straps are going to go back to Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey.
Ho, ho. Miz and Morrison. Yeah, man, I mean, I love them. I love them.
That's my prediction for that one. And let's talk about last but, well, least. Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders.
You know, I see that they try to do a little new thing with the Viking Raiders and kind of mix their look up a little bit and not be so retarded. Oh, I can't say that word. Not be so, I don't know, like a Halloween costume. Like, I know you're dressed up, but I don't want to think you're wearing a Halloween costume. So I don't, but Street Profits, everyone loves the Street Profits, and I think that I don't feel like they're still pushing the Viking Raiders, so I feel like this is going to be the Street Profits time.
And that's where I gotta disagree. I am not a fan of the Viking Raiders. You know this. I do not like what they're doing with the Viking Raiders, with them riding in the car, Viking Raiders. It's almost joking them up.
Right.
And the whole thing about Vikings is that they're big, they're bad, they're tough, they take no nonsense, they take no prisoners, and that's essentially what these guys are supposed to be.
Right.
So either you're that or you're joking around. You're one or the other, make a decision. But I don't care for that particular character. It doesn't work for me. But because I do see that these teams are getting a push, I think it could go either way, but I'm a little concerned that it will ultimately go to the Viking Raiders.
Oh,
I guess we will see.
that's cool.
That's our prediction for Money in the Bank. Let us know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Leave a comment below. And please make sure to like, share, subscribe, what else?
Hit that notification bell.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of A&B Combos Wrestling Edition. And let's talk after Money in the Bank, and let's find out who was right and who was wrong.
Always
We will see you guys
down the road.